Hi guys, and welcome to the first of our GT Sport videos. This is going to be taking a look here at the race at the Autodrome Lago Maggiore. We're riding on board the Alfa Romeo 4C, which is the N200 class, which means it has somewhere around the 200 brake horsepower mark. And the AI has been set to the professional difficulty, which is actually the highest difficulty we have available at the moment. So having played the GT Sport closed beta, I've got to say this is the full retail version here, and it feels so much more different. You know, although this car has just over 200 horsepower, I've got to say it was pretty much a handful to control. You'll see the traction control on the bottom right there set to 0. You can see the car squirming around, so it is a bit of a handful, even though it's, you know, it's not very high in terms of power. Again, you can see as a change up into third gear there, the back end just snapping out slightly. It is, of course, a rear-wheel drive car. This is a mid-mounted engine. Coming up to this tricky right-hander, then third gear through here. I don't know the track whatsoever, so you know, I've probably done about one lap on this track before what you're seeing here. So again, look at that, really getting sideways there. Really surprisingly so, actually. I wasn't quite expecting the car to be this frisky, so it was surprising to see. It wants to get sideways at every opportunity, pretty much. You can hear the tyres squealing away as well as we go over this chicane. And again, sort of understeer, almost braking out into oversteer there on the exit. And again, a bit of understeer there. So it is a bit of an unpredictable car, this 4C. It'd be interesting to see if this same handling applies to other cars. I did drive the BMW M3, I believe it was, and it again was a handful. It was a rear-wheel drive car, of course. And it's just, you just cannot take liberties with these rear-wheel drive cars, it seems, on GT Sport, because they will bite. So I'm just coming around this right-hander then. I am testing every so often with the accelerator how much I can actually get away with. And it was interesting just how easy, I guess, the AI were. I mean, considering I don't know the track, and I'm sort of having a bit of a play around, just having a feel for the handling. And yet I'm still able to make positions. This is the hardest difficulty setting for the AI, so it was a bit disappointing to see me going through the field in just one lap. You know, we're up into 4th place now, so oh, look at that, wasn't expecting that, the AI coming back at me, so that was good to see. Although they did make contact, you know, it was nice to see the AI actually having a go and getting a bit aggressive with me, because traditionally in GT games, of course, the AI are sort of on rails and don't present much challenge, so it's good to see a little bit of that going on at least. But overall, from what I've seen so far on this race, you know, the AI is far too easy actually, and for, you know, GT veterans, you know, they'll find this difficulty way too easy. So it's all about getting online with GT Sport for a challenge. So starting the second lap of 3. This is 6 PM, and this is the sunny conditions. It is worth noting that the 4C does only weigh 950 kilograms, so it is going to be light. It is going to be, you know, a short wheelbase. It's going to be tricky to handle. Again, they're getting a bit sideways. You've seen the apex completely as a result. Beautiful scenery in the background there. You can see the mountains and the sun sort of peering over the top, and the clouds sort of being illuminated with the sun, which is just hidden behind the mountains there. It does look absolutely gorgeous. You can see the reflections as well on the windscreen as well, which looks very good indeed. Yeah, the car sounds pretty decent, I'd say, for a Gran Turismo game at least. And overall, it's a lot of fun to drive, but like I said, I just wasn't expecting it to be this difficult. You know, the real challenge wasn't against the AI, it was against myself, really. Keeping this car on the track was what the difficulty was. That was where the challenge really was. So, you know, even experienced players are going to be taken aback a little bit by the handling initially, so it will take a little bit of getting used to, but it's good to see the handling has evolved, even though it perhaps is a little bit oversensitive at the moment. But of course, no doubt we'll get many tweaks with GT Sport. It's going to be one of these platforms that's going to be ongoing. You're going to get more tracks, you're going to get more cars, handling are going to be tweaked, categories are going to be tweaked, so it's just going to be interesting to see how it develops. So we're in 1st place then. AI not providing too much of a challenge. Look at that, oh, sideways there, even in 4th gear. So, you know, 4th gear in a car that only has 235 bhp, and it's still giving me trouble. Just goes to show how sensitive those rear wheels are. But I've got to say, this track was a lot of fun to drive on. You know, lots of undulation, lots of off-camber turns, lots of chicanes, high speed sections, more low speed sections, more technical stuff as well. It just about has everything, this track. It's quite a long track as well. The first lap there clocked in at just under 3 minutes, so it is going to be one of these tracks that you really do have to put a lot of laps in to learn. Now you've noticed now I've actually whacked the traction control onto 1. So we can have a look at how the car behaves with traction control on its minimal setting of 1. Goes as high as 5, of course. So I'm just sort of having a bit of a play around, seeing how well behaved the car is with traction control on. So I just let the AI through there on the inside just to see if it give me a bit of a challenge, but unfortunately I'm able to overtake pretty easily there and sort of leaving behind already, so it's a bit of a shame really. I did want a bit more of a challenge from the hardest AI, but hopefully they can tweak that setting, just make them a little bit more challenging for more experienced players, because it would just be a cakewalk otherwise. Of course, if the servers are offline, you are restricted to the arcade portion, which is what you're seeing here today. Again, just drifting it around the chicane. You can see, again, the car wanting to get sideways, even with the traction control on. And again, I'm just throwing it in there, a bit of a drift going on, a bit of an opposite lock, just for a bit of fun. So certainly there's a lot more depth to the handling model compared to the closed beta. But is it too sensitive? Well, probably. But it's nice to see it evolve nonetheless, and of course, like I said earlier, they can tweak these settings and get that sort of more towards realism. I've got to say, a lot of fun this track, a lot of fun driving the car. The real challenge was keeping it on the road, and it's going to be a real challenge for players, you know, battling it out with this sort of handling model. There's going to be a lot of cars sliding off initially. It's going to take time, at least with the traction control either off or at a very low setting. And again, look at that, 4th gear turning in, car just wanting to slide. So it is a little bit overzealous at the moment, I feel, but it could be down to this car. It is a mid-mounted rear-wheel drive car, small car, very light as well, so probably is a real handful to drive in real life. So for future videos we'll be checking out other tracks that we haven't seen yet, including some rally and also hopefully some VR action as well, so stay tuned for that. If there's anything else you'd like to see, do let us know in the comments. But that's it for a quick look at the Autodrome Largo Maggiore track in GT Sport, and there'll be more coverage to come very shortly. Thanks for watching.